Okay, good evening. Today is the 7th of June. We are currently in the Asian session of the Asian markets. We're basically looking at a couple of markets. We're looking at gold, we're looking at Bitcoin, we're looking at the Nasdaq and the MES. As you can see, this is what we're doing. Right. So starting real quick, there's something that I need to look at, which is this week's current, market happenings, or should I say market events? I think that would be a better term. So let's go really quickly, and we can just search what is happening this week. This is just what I do with futures markets, things that will impact. All right, let's just see what comes out of it. Okay. No, it's not the end. Okay. So because we have AI, we can just have, this is all I need, right? I just need to understand what's going on. So they're heavily reacting to higher than expected May job reports. We know that the US had good job reports, while Canadian markets had a bad, well, maybe you can say they had lesser jobs than expected. Moving this week, we have US inflation data, June 10th to 11th. CPI and PPI are coming in this Thursday, which is going to be, let's see what date Thursday is. So that's 11th. The BOC is on June 10th. Energy and oil still in play because of the Strait of Hormuz being bombarded the hell out. Apple on June 8th is having some sort of a new AI-powered some sort of news. A major artificial intelligence overhaul. Okay, and then Oracle earnings is also something very important. I know SpaceX, when it's SPCX, and what would be the impact? Now it's going to be huge. I just want to see what Gemini, whatever this AI thing is, says about SPCX. Long-awaited IPO for SPCX is on June 11th. We'll be trading on June 12th. $135 per share. Liquidity drain and forced selling is going to be happening, because to participate in this offering, institutional funds and retail investors might raise enormous amounts of cash, which means they're going to be having a selling event across the broader markets. There's going to be a ripple effect on index futures. You can expect heightened volatility. I wouldn't even be trading that, because I just don't know what the hell is going to happen, right? But it's this week. I'm telling you, if you're trading this week, be prepared. Be prepared for a lot of violent moves this week. We have retail. So basically us, the retail traders, fear of missing out wave. That heavily subscribed. SpaceX has uniquely earmarked around 30%. That's $22.5 billion of shares. Interesting. So those are the couple of things that we have. Before getting into the entire week, remember what they said, there's going to be frantic selling. I think that's what's happening on Bitcoin right now. As you can see, investors have been liquidating their positions to get into SpaceX itself, so that they get out of this. Because SpaceX was holding Bitcoin. They have, I think, Elon Musk came out saying that SpaceX holds some number of shares in Bitcoin. Let's see. How much Bitcoin does SpaceX SPCX hold as per Elon? I mean, I'm sure there was news about this. Let's see what it says. Let's see what it's about. So they hold 18,712 Bitcoin on its balance sheet, revealed in SEC things. Well, they need to file. They need to basically need to provide how much holdings they have in each and every asset. So they said they hold 18,700 Bitcoin Ever since that, stash is more than double. Okay, interesting. Total valuation, fair value of 1.29 billion of March, fluctuations 1.4. Aggregate cost of 661 million is now at 1.29 billion. So Elon Musk's team cumulated a position average of 35,000 per Bitcoin. That's wild. The fact that we're now at 63, they're still in profit. That's crazy. So once it goes live, SpaceX will become the largest privately traded diversified company holding Bitcoin. Wow. Wow. Elon Musk is holding a lot of Bitcoin. That's weird. They have 30,000 Bitcoin worth 2.4 billion USD. They they're the fifth largest corporate Bitcoin block in the world. All right, this looks like interesting. I want to see. Come on. What the hell? Where was I? Okay, so this place is. I just want to see. So which are the top 5? All right, I just want to see who are the top 5 holding companies. The top 5 holding companies, publicly traded, massively controlled. Okay, we know about MSTR, right? We know about that. Capital, 21 Capital. Interesting. Meta Planet. It's not Meta, it's Meta Planet. Asia's MicroStrategy, took to a certain city. Then Mara, and then BTC. I don't know what Mara's price is. Because I remember seeing Mara some time ago. And ever since we saw, I used to trade Mara, but and then we shifted to this because let's see what Mara is doing, how much it costs currently. It's at $12. Interesting, very very interesting. And they're they hold one of the biggest Bitcoin capital companies. That's interesting. Okay, so. We were at so we got there. That's fine. Cool. It's good to know. It's just good and useful information. Now the thing that I trade the most is gold. Gold has been on a steady sell-off. The metals have always been something that people hold on to very dearly. And currently we're trading at 43.62.9. We opened up with a sell. We're testing these levels. If I was thinking correctly, one of the shorts that I would like to take was in and around this area, which was 43.95. So it's probably going to set up tomorrow, or maybe in the European session, the morning markets, the early AM markets. If that's the case, I would like to take a short up here. I probably would not be trading this at the time, but I just want to see how it plays out. I trade in a very specific timeline, very specific time zone. I'm not trading today. As you can see, I locked my account because, we need to do market prep. This is me basically doing market prep. So this week, if we are to fail below this, I'll probably take the short on gold, just anticipating the selling. I'm pretty sure we will see more selling on gold. The market itself, people are also trying to liquidate their position. As you can see, we had a huge sell-off on the MES, the S&P 500. That sold off pretty hard as well. I think there's more to come from this sell. Euro USD at the same time also took a flump. I think I'm not quite sure exactly why this is happening. Probably because SpaceX is IPOing. That could be one of the reasons. As you can see, Canadian dollar as well. It rose past a couple of days in April. We had May here that popped up this, and then it just kind of faded off. So it's quite interesting to know what's going to happen this week. I have a couple of my levels marked here. I'll just say them out loud. 41, 63, and 9 is a monthly low. My shorts
if I'm taking it, would be 4394.9. And currently we're still in the middle. What do you call? We tried to go below the day's low, but for some reason we did not continue to the sell side. It's going to be quite interesting. It's a very interesting week. The good thing with Top Step is they have these. You can see these events that you can actually pull up here. I think TradingView has the same thing. So 7:30 a.m. CT, you have a U.S. trade balance. You have home sales, and on the 10th, again, that's what we talked about earlier. We have CPI. On the 11th, we have U.S. jobless claims. On the 12th, we have the Michigan sentiment prelims. That's it. That's pretty much about it. What you see right here was the unemployment rate earnings that came out. So it's quite interesting to see how the market reacts to all these things. We're currently sitting here. What was that? I saw something. It was. Okay. So we're basically. It was actually a good long to have once we broke this right here, right? It was decent. When we sell up like this, you can expect this. I think there's a lot of information coming out with the war. I think in the US-Iran war, what is happening today? I think Iran sort of like bombed. You can see Israel. Yeah, Iran fires waves of missiles at Israel since the first time since April ceasefire. Iran losing patience with Israel and U.S. over ceasefire violation. So let's go into CNN. I don't know if this will allow me, but as you can see, there's a new escalation. The military says it's intercepted waves of missiles fired from Iran. If you look at gold, you can see there has been a little bit of action. But again, we're in the Asian session. I know this is probably something that is stereotypical, but whatever. Asians love their gold. A lot of Asian countries hold a lot of gold. I know India holds a lot of gold. Apparently, the amount of gold that is held in India is way more. Basically, Indian households have way more gold than countries. So let's fact check that. Let's go back here. Okay. How much gold does? Oh, it's right here. We end the government. So, how much gold does Indians have? So, in 2019, the World Gold Council estimated that Indian households held stocks of 25,000 tons of gold, making the country the largest holder. So, if we look at this, we have in India 25,000 tons. The US has 8,300 tons. China has 1,000. So basically, the entire Indian markets are holding gold. Let's look at this. Indian women now hold 11% of the world's gold supply. That's wild. That's wild. And why does India like gold so much? Why does India like gold so much? Let's see what happens. See what comes out. India's deep affinity for gold stems from a mixture of financial security, cultural traditions, and economic history. The Indian households hold an estimated 34,000 tons of gold, more than combined official reserves from US, Germany, and the G7 nations. The main reasons for this enduring fascination include financial security, liquidity, cultural religious significance, women empowerment, historical accumulation. So basically, they're saying because of these reasons is why just Indians hoard gold. Okay, let's see. What are the cons of this? with Indian holding so much gold. Let's see what comes out. Because there has to be something. It's just not going to be like, oh, it's a great thing to hold so much gold. So it provides excellent safety for individual households. It creates a massive debt capital problem for the broader Indian economy and exposes families to high transactional costs. So what does it mean by lots of debt capital? So gold is an unprotected asset, unlike bank deposits or stock market investments. Money sitting in gold does not fund corporate growth. Okay. It weakens the Indian rupee because Indian imports nearly 800 to 900 tons annually, must spend billions in US dollars to buy it. This massive dollar outflow widens the current account deficit. Interesting. This depreciates the value of the rupee. Starves businesses of credit when a huge chunk of household saving goes into gold rather than the formal banking sector. Banks have fewer deposits. This lowers the available credit supply. So high making charges doesn't matter. That's for jewelry. There's no passive income. You don't get dividends or anything. Storage problems, emotional lock-in. So is this why Indian rupee is at all-time high, or one of the reasons? Because I know the Indian rupee is like at 95 when compared with the dollar. So it's not the exact truth. The exact opposite is true. It's an all-time low. Okay, basically, when compared, 1 USD is equal to 94 means. Okay, the inverse. So I just added this as the wrong way of, making a comment. That is true. But looking at currency exchange, the higher number means the currency has weakened. That is true. So in the mid 2026, 96 per US dollar, making it the weakest. So the massive dollar drain, India must import all of its coal because it has this. The rupee buys dollars. International gold trade is either settled in dollars to pay for these massive shipments. Indian importers must constantly dump rupees. Okay. The supply demand impact. And the market is flooded with the rupees. Okay, interesting. So the other reasons of the crash, again, crude oil, as we know, is going higher. Foreign investors' capital outflow. Major global investors have been aggressively pulling out of money from the Indian stocks and bonds, moving their capital to the US or into AI. So the AI bubble again. Interesting. Aggressive government intervention. The situation becomes so critical that the government had to hike import duties of gold to 15%. Wow. Well, that explains a lot. Why gold has been so valuable to the Indian economy, and why the Indian rupee is at its all-time lows, because it's 1 INR or one. You can just say USD INR. The dollar Indian. You can see. Look at that. This is wild. The fact that this is at its all-time highest. This is not good for whenever India wants to import something from the US or wants to do something with the US itself. This is not good. Let's look at USD. What is CHF? This is the franc. This is the Swiss franc. All-time lows. They're doing well. What was Chinese yuan? What was that called? I'm sure JPY is also exactly. Okay, what else? CNY? I think it's Chinese yuan, correct? CNY. So that's weird. Honestly, that is weird. The fact that this is at 6.7, 1 USD to yuan. So $1 is 6 yuan. Trading partners, right? How much is 100 US dollars in Chinese? So it's 677 Chinese, right? 677 Chinese yuan. How much for
a kilo of chicken in China? Let's see. Between 2 and 5 USD, which is about 15 to 37 yuan. So basically, if you go with 100, okay, so 15 to 37 CNY. Okay. How much is chicken in Canada? 1 kg. So it's $7, $12 for a kilo of thighs. So when you compare it, and so if one, so that was one was 6.7 now USD to CAD. That's $1, right? So 100 would be 130. So you get lesser Canadian dollars because it's neighboring countries. Okay, how about USD to INR? We know that was yay. So 100 is, wow, it's 9,000 Indian rupees. Okay, how much is 1 kg chicken in India? A month ago, we have something on Reddit. So dressed chicken, 250 rupees. That's not too bad. So if you are actually someone who's earning in US dollars and go to fucking India, you actually be doing pretty good, right? That's what I was trying to get to. Which is interesting. It's a very interesting thing to know. And if you're in China as well, it's also pretty good, right? But if you're in Canada, it's not that great because it's almost the same value. So what does that mean? I would say there's a lot of inflation here. Like, what the hell is this? The same value, you get more there, and it's also costing less compared to what you're doing here, which is a very interesting way of thinking. But that being said, there's nothing much you can do but live in whichever state of financial situation you're living in and hope that things get better, you make more money, and hopefully things get better. So that being said, I think I'm done with my rant. The market is not doing anything. The market is very slow. As you can see, we're just ranging at this point. We broke above this. My targets are up here. If I'm to go short, I'll go short here. The books are a bit thin. There is some left. There is something here. It's also a nice place to go short. Risking this right here, you can take a quick short. But that being said, hopefully this week we have a lot of moves that we can catch like this. It was a fantastic sell-off. You got a double top here right at the open price, and then prices came down. I didn't catch it, but god damn it, this would have been the trade. This was actually the trade of the week. So I'll dissect this probably in another video. That being said, hope you have a great evening, morning, or afternoon. And trade responsibly, trade well. See you.